Q1. Consider the following statements about the critical edition of the Mahabharata. I. It was initiated in 1919 under the leadership of V.S. Sukthankar. 2. It took exactly 47 years to complete. 3. The project only compiled versions of the text found in North India. Which of the above are correct? A. I and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. I and 3 only. D. I, 2, and 3. Answer. A. I and 2 only. Q2. The critical edition of the Mahabharata ran into how many pages when finally published? A. Over 10,000 pages. B. Over 13,000 pages. C. Over 15,000 pages. D. Over 100,000 pages. Answer. B. Over 13,000 pages. Q3. What was a major finding of the team working on the critical edition of the Mahabharata? A. There were absolutely no regional variations in the manuscripts. B. All manuscripts were written exclusively in the Brahmi script. C. There were several common elements in the Sanskrit versions found from Kashmir to Kerala. D. The text was purely didactic with no narrative elements. Answer. C. There were several common elements in the Sanskrit versions found from Kashmir to Kerala. Q4. In Sanskrit texts, which term is used specifically to designate families? A. Kula. B. Janati. C. Vansha. D. Gotra. Answer. A. Kula. Q5. What does the term Janati designate in early Sanskrit texts? A. Lineage. B. The larger network of kinfolk. C. Families. D. Caste groups. Answer. B. The larger network of kinfolk. Q6. Which of the following describes endogamy? A. Marriage outside the kin group. B. A man having several wives. C. Marriage within a unit, such as a kin group or caste. D. Tracing descent through the mother. Answer. C. Marriage within a unit, such as a kin group or caste. Q7. The practice of exogamy refers to A. Marrying within the same gotra. B. Marrying outside the unit or kin group. C. A woman having several husbands. D. The gift of a daughter in marriage. Answer. B. Marrying outside the unit or kin group. Q8. What was Kanyadana considered in the Brahmanical framework? A. An economic transaction for land. B. An important religious duty of the father. C. A tax paid to the king during marriage. D. The wealth a woman brings to her husband. Answer. B. An important religious duty of the father. Q9. The Dharmasutras and Dharmashastras recognized how many forms of marriage? A. 4. B. 6. C. 8. D. 10. Answer. C. 8. Q10. According to the Manusmriti, which of the following is characteristic of the sixth form of marriage? A. The gift of a daughter after dressing her in costly clothes. B. The bridegroom receives a maiden after giving wealth to the kinsman. C. The voluntary union of a maiden and her lover springing from desire. D. The father giving his daughter after addressing the couple to perform duties together. Answer. C. The voluntary union of a maiden and her lover springing from desire. Q11. From circa 1000 BCE onwards, Brahmanical practice classified people in terms of gotras. A gotra was named after A. A ruling king. B. A Vedic seer. C. A specific geographical region. D. A patron deity. Answer. B. A Vedic seer. Q12. Which of the following was a strict rule regarding gotras? A. Men had to adopt their wife's gotra. B. Members of the same gotra could not marry. C. Gotra names could only be used by Kshatriyas. D. Women retained their father's gotra after marriage under Brahmanical law. Answer. B. Members of the same gotra could not marry. Q13. Which ruling dynasty's inscriptions provided evidence that some of their queens retained their father's gotras, for example, Gotama and Vasishtha? A. Mauryas. B. Guptas. C. Satvahans. D. Shungas. Answer C. Satvahans. Q14. The term Gotami Putta literally means A. Father of Gotami. B. Son of Gotami. C. Servant of Gotami. D. Descendant of Gotama. Answer B. Son of Gotami. Q15. The Satavahana rulers practiced which form of marriage, contradicting Brahmanical exogamy rules? A. Polyandry. B. Endogamy. C. Monogamy only. D. Exogamy. Answer B. Endogamy. Q16. In which Upanishad do we find a list of successive generations of teachers and students designated by metronymics? A. Chandogya Upanishad. B. Katha Upanishad. C. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. D. Mundaka Upanishad. Answer C. Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Q17. Which text famously contains the Purusha Sukta, hymn describing the divine origin of the four Varnas? A. Samaveda. B. Manusmriti. C. Rigveda. D. Mahabharat. Answer C. Rigveda. Q18. According to the Dharma Sutras, which of the following occupations was strictly assigned to Vaishyas but not to Kshatriyas? A. Administering justice. B. Studying the Vedas. C. Engaging in agriculture, pastoralism, and trade. D. Getting sacrifices performed. Answer C. Engaging in agriculture, pastoralism, and trade. Q19. How did Brahmanas attempt to enforce the Varna norms? A. By claiming the order was of divine origin. B. By advising kings to ensure these norms were followed. C. By persuading people that status was determined by birth. D. All of the above. Answer D. All of the above. Q20. Assertion A. Only Kshatriyas could be kings according to the Shastras. Reason R. The Mauryas, Shungas, and Kamvas were all universally recognized as Kshatriyas by Brahmanical texts. Choose the correct option. A. Both A and R are true, and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true, but R is not the correct explanation. C. A is true, but R is false. D. A is false, but R is true. Answer C. A is true, but R is false. Q21. The Shungas and Kamvas, immediate successors of the Mauryas, belong to which Varna? A. Kshatriyas. B. Vaishyas. C. Brahmanas. D. Shudras. Answer C. Brahmanas. Q22. Rulers such as the Sakas, who came from Central Asia, were regarded by Brahmanas as A. Nishadas. B. Mlecchas. C. Chandalas. D. Vratyas. Answer B. Mlecchas. Q23. Which famous Saka ruler is noted in a Sanskrit inscription for rebuilding the Sudarshana lake in century 2nd century CE? A. Kanishka. B. Gondiphans. C. Rudradaman. D. Menandar. Answer C. Rudradaman. Q24. Gotami Putta Siri Satakani claimed to be a unique Brahmana. What is the original Prakrit term used for this? A. Eka Brahmana. B. Eka Bamhana. C. Mahabamhana. D. Siri Bamhana. Answer B. Eka Bamhana. Q25. Which Satavahana ruler claimed to have stopped intermarriage amongst members of the four Varnas, yet entered into a marriage alliance with the kin of Rudradaman? A. Siri Pulumai. B. Gotami Putta Siri Satakani. C. Vashishti Putra Pulumvi. D. Siri Yana Satakani. Answer B. Gotami Putta Siri Satakani. Q26. While the number of Varnas was fixed at 4, what was the restriction on the number of Jatis? A. Fixed at 8. B. Fixed at 36. C. No restriction on the number. D. Fixed at the number of occupations. Answer C. No restriction on the number. Q27. Jatis which shared a common occupation or profession were sometimes organized into A. Kulas. B. Shrenis. C. Ganas. D. Vanshas. Answer B. Shrenis. Q28. A 5th century CE stone inscription found in Mandasar records the history of a guild of A. Goldsmiths. B. Silk weavers. C. Iron merchants. D. Potters. Answer B. Silk weavers. Q29. The silk weavers mentioned in the Mandasar inscription originally lived in A. Dashapura. B. Lata, Gujarat. C. Mathura. D. Koshala. Answer B. Lata, Gujarat. Q30. What did the Guild of Silk Weavers collectively decide to invest their wealth in, according to the Mandasar inscription? A. Building a fortified wall. B. Constructing a temple in honor of the sun god. C. Funding a Buddhist monastery. D. Sponsoring a great sacrifice for the king. Answer B. Constructing a temple in honor of the sun god. Q31. In the play Ncert Shakatika written by Shudraka, the hero Charuditta was described as both a Kshatriya and a king. B. Brahmana and a Sartvaha, merchant. C. Shudra and a warrior. D. Vaishya and a priest. Answer B. Brahmana and a Sartvaha, merchant. K32. Eklavya, who approached Drona to learn archery, belonged to a hunting community known as A. Kirata. B. Nishada. C. Vila. D. Shabara. Answer B. Nishada. Q33. According to the Brahmanical texts, which activities were considered particularly polluting? A. Weaving silk. B. Handling corpses and dead animals. C. Trading in foreign lands. D. Fighting in wars without being a Kshatriya. Answer B. Handling corpses and dead animals. Q34. Who laid down the strict duties of the Chandalas, such as wearing the clothes of the dead? A. Arthashastra. B. Manusmriti. C. Upanishads. D. Mahabharat. Answer B. Manusmriti. Q35. Which Chinese Buddhist monk wrote in 5th century CE that untouchables had to sound a clapper in the streets so people could avoid seeing them? A. Shan Zhang. B. I Sing. C. F. A. Jian. D. Wang Haiyan. Answer C. F. A. Jian. Q36. Shan Zhang, c. 7th century, observed that which of the following groups were forced to live outside the city? A. Merchants and traders. B. Executioners and scavengers. C. Forest dwellers. D. Foreigners, malechas. Answer B. Executioners and scavengers. Q37. In the Matanga Jatak, the Bodhisattva is identified as a Chandala named Matanga. This text is written in which language? A. Sanskrit. B. Prakrit. C. Pali. D. Tamil. Answer C. Pali. Q38. In the Matanga Jatak story, whom does Matanga marry after attaining spiritual powers? A. A Brahmana woman. B. A Kshatriya princess. C. Ditta Mangalika, a merchant's daughter. D. A Nishada woman. Answer C. Ditta Mangalika, a merchant's daughter. Q39. What is the central theme of Matanga's dialogue with his son Mandavya Kumara in the Matanga Jatak? A. Praising the purity of Brahmana birth. B. Critiquing pride based on birth and asserting that those free from vices are worthy of offerings. C. Explaining the 8 forms of marriage. D. Demanding a share in the paternal estate. Answer B. Critiquing pride based on birth and asserting that those free from vices are worthy of offerings. Q40. During the game of dice in the Mahabharata, Yudhishthira stakes and loses everything, including their common wife named A. Kunti. B. Gandhari. C. Draupadi. D. Hidimba. Answer C. Draupadi. Q41. According to Manusmriti, how was the paternal estate to be divided after the death of the parents? A. Equally among sons and daughters. B. Given entirely to the eldest son. C. Divided equally among sons, with a special share for the eldest. D. Given equally to all male and female relatives. Answer. C. Divided equally among sons, with a special share for the eldest. Q42. The wealth a woman was allowed to retain, received as gifts during her marriage, was known as A. Kanyadana. B. Stridhana. C. Vidyadna. D. Gotradhana. Answer. B. Stridhana. Q43. Could a husband claim the Stridhana according to Brahmanical texts? A. Yes, it was entirely his property. B. No, it could be inherited by her children without the husband having any claim. C. Yes, but only if they had no children. D. Yes, it was shared equally between husband and wife. Answer. B. No, it could be inherited by her children without the husband having any claim. Q44. According to the Manusmriti, how many means of acquiring wealth were there for men? A. 5. B. 6. C. 7. D. 8. Answer. C. 7. Q45. According to the Manusmriti, how many means of acquiring wealth were there for women? A. 3. B. 4. C. 5. D. 6. Answer. D. 6. Q46. Despite Brahmanical rules, which prominent woman, discussed in Chapter 2, is known from epigraphic evidence to have controlled access to resources like land? A. Draupadi. B. Prabhavati Gupta. C. Kunti. D. Gautami Balashri. Answer. B. Prabhavati Gupta. Q47. The dialogue between King Avaniputta and Kachana regarding the equality of Varnas if a Shudra were wealthy is found in which text? A. Sutta Pitaka. B. Majjhima Nikay. C. Digha Nikay. D. Vinay Pitka. Answer. B. Majjhima Nikay. Q48. In the Majjhima Nikay dialogue, what was Kachana's conclusion to King Avaniputta about the four Varnas if wealth was the criteria? A. Brahmanas were inherently superior regardless of wealth. B. Shudras could never be wealthy. C. There was no difference amongst the Varnas on this count. D. Only Kshatriyas should own wealth. Answer. C. There was no difference amongst the Varnas on this count. Q49. An alternative social scenario emphasizing sharing wealth rather than accumulating it was celebrated in ancient Tamilicum. This is evident from poems in which anthology? A. Silapadikaram. B. Puranaruru. C. Tirukaral. D. Manimakalai. Answer. B. Puranaruru. Q50. In ancient Tamilicum, chiefs who acquired wealth were expected to A. Hoard it for future generations. B. Share it and be generous patrons of bards and poets. C. Donate it exclusively to Brahmanas. D. Use it only for building temples. Answer. B. Share it and be generous patrons of bards and poets. Q51. According to a Buddhist myth found in the Sutta Pitaka, human beings originally lived in an idyllic state. When this deteriorated, they chose a leader known as A. Rajan. B. Mahasammata. C. Chakravartin. D. Samrat. Answer. B. Mahasammata. Q52. What does the title, Mahasammata, mean in Buddhist tradition? A. The Divine King. B. The Great Conqueror. C. The Great Elect. D. The Primeval Man. Answer. C. The Great Elect. Q53. The Buddhist theory of the origin of kingship suggests that A. Kingship was divinely ordained by Brahma. B. Kingship was an institution based on human choice and a social contract. C. Only Kshatriyas were eligible to be kings. D. Taxes were an illegal extortion by rulers. Answer. B. Kingship was an institution based on human choice and a social contract. Q54. When analyzing texts, historians classify the contents of the Mahabharata under two broad heads. These are A. Historical and mythological. B. Narrative and didactic. C. Religious and secular. D. Poetic and prose. Answer B. Narrative and didactic. Q55. In the context of the Mahabharata, the term didactic refers to sections that contain A. Dramatic battles. B. Genealogies of kings. C. Prescriptions about social norms and instructions. D. Stories of the gods. Answer C. Prescriptions about social norms and instructions. Q56. Early Sanskrit tradition describes the Mahabharata as Itihasa. What is the literal meaning of this term? A. Great epic. B. Thus it was. C. Story of the ancestors. D. Divine revelation. Answer B. Thus it was. Q57. Who were the Sutas in early Indian history? A. Brahmana priests. B. Charioteer bards who compose poems celebrating Kshatriya warriors. C. Guild leaders. D. Forest dwellers. Answer B. Charioteer bards who compose poems celebrating Kshatriya warriors. Q58. From which century did Brahmanas take over the Mahabharata story and begin to commit it to writing? A. 10th century BCE. B. 5th century BCE. C. 2nd century CE. D. 5th century CE. Answer B. 5th century BCE. Q59. Between circa 200 BCE and 200 CE, the worship of which deity grew in importance, leading to Krishna being identified with him in the Mahabharata? A. Shiva. B. Brahma. C. Vishnu. D. Indra. Answer C. Vishnu. Q60. The enormous composition of the Mahabharata, which grew to about 100,000 verses, is traditionally attributed to which sage? A. Valmiki. B. Vyasa. C. Vasishtha. D. Vishwamitra. Answer B. Vyasa. Q61. Which archaeologist excavated a village named Hastinapura in Meerut, Uttar Pradesh, in 1951-52? A. John Marshall. B. Alexander Cunningham. C. B. B. Lal. D. R. E. M. Wheeler. Answer C. B. B. Lal. Q62. Hastinapura was situated in which geographical region? A. Lower Ganga Valley. B. Upper Ganga Doab. C. Indus Valley. D. Deccan Plateau. Answer B. Upper Ganga Doab. Q63. During the excavation at Hastinapura, B. B. Lal found evidence of how many occupational levels? A. 3. B. 4. C. 5. D. 6. Answer C. 5. Q64. In the third phase of Hastinapura, c. 6th 3rd centuries BCE, houses were built of A. Only mud. B. Only stone. C. Mud brick as well as burnt bricks. D. Wood exclusively. Answer C. Mud brick as well as burnt bricks. Q65. Draupadi's marriage to the 5 Pandava brothers is a central instance of which marriage practice? A. Polygyny. B. Monogamy. C. Polyandry. D. Levirate. Answer C. Polyandry. Q66. Which king organized the competition where Arjuna won Draupadi? A. Dhritarashtra. B. Drupada. C. Virat. D. Shalya. Answer B. Drupada. Q67. How did the seer Vyasa explain Draupadi's marriage to Drupada to convince him? A. He said she was captured in war and hence belonged to all. B. He claimed the Pandavas were incarnations of Indra and Draupadi was Indra's wife reborn. C. He said Kunti's command overrode all Dharmashastras. D. He cited a precedent from the Vedas. Answer B. He claimed the Pandavas were incarnations of Indra and Draupadi was Indra's wife reborn. Q68. Some historians suggest that polyandry may have been prevalent due to A. A shortage of women during times of warfare. B. Influence of foreign invaders. C. Strict Brahmanical rules. D. Abundance of wealth among Kshatriyas. Answer A. A shortage of women during times of warfare. Q69. The short story, Kunti O Nishadi, which works out alternative possibilities from the main story of the Mahabharata, was written by A. Arundhati Roy, B. Mahashweta Devi, C. Amrita Preetham, D. Sarojini Naidu. Answer B. Mahashweta Devi. Q70. In the story, Kunti O Nishadi, the Nishada woman reminds Kunti of which specific event? A. The game of dice. B. The burning of the house of Lak with an innocent Nishadi and her 5 sons inside. C. The killing of Ekalavya. D. The Kurukshetra war. Answer B. The burning of the house of Lak with an innocent Nishadi and her 5 sons inside. Q71. What material was the house Duryodhana built to plot the killing of the Pandavas made of? A. Stone. B. Wood. C. Lac. D. Iron. Answer C. Lac. Q72. The Ashtadhyayi of Panini, a work on Sanskrit grammar, is dated to approximately A. Circa 1000 BCE. B. Circa 500 BCE. C. Circa 200 CE. D. Circa 500 CE. Answer B. Circa 500 BCE. Q73. The Natya Shastra of Bharat, a work on dramaturgy, is dated to approximately A. Circa 300 BCE. B. Circa 100 CE. C. Circa 300 CE. D. Circa 500 CE. Answer C. Circa 300 CE. Q74. Charaka and Sushruta Sanhitas, early works on medicine, are dated to approximately A. Circa 500 BCE. B. Circa 100 BCE. C. Circa 100 CE. D. Circa 400 CE. Answer C. Circa 100 CE. Q75. J.A.B. Van Beetenen began the English translation of the critical edition of the Mahabharata in which year? A. 1919. B. 1951. C. 1966. D. 1973. Answer D. 1973. Q76. Assertion A. The Brahmanical texts recognized Ekalavya as a skilled Kshatriya warrior. Reason R. Ekalavya belonged to a forest-dwelling Nishada community. A. Both A and R are true and R explains A. B. Both A and R are true but R does not explain A. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. Answer D. A is false but R is true. Q77. Assertion A. Satavahana rulers derived their names from their mothers' gotras. Reason R. Succession to the Satavahana throne was primarily matrilineal. A. Both A and R are true. B. Both A and R are false. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. Answer C. A is true but R is false. Q78. Consider the following regarding Chandalas as per Manusmriti. 1. They had to wear iron ornaments. 2. They were forced to use discarded utensils. 3. They could serve as priests in times of distress. Which are correct? A. 1 and 2 only. B. 2 and 3 only. C. 1 and 3 only. D. 1, 2, and 3. Answer A. 1 and 2 only. Q79. According to a mantra from the Rigveda, circa 1000 BCE, chanted during marriages, which deity's grace would grant the bride fine sons? A. Agni. B. Surya. C. Indra. D. Varuna. Answer C. Indra. Q80. In the Mahabharata excerpt, why kinfolk quarreled, who expresses jealousy towards the Pandavas out of fear of being excluded from royal succession? A. Dhritarashtra. B. Duryodhana. C. Karna. D. Shakuni. Answer B. Duryodhana. Q81. Which of the following describes polygyny? A. A man having several wives. B. A woman having several husbands. C. Marriage outside the kin group. D. Tracing descent through the mother. Answer. A man having several wives. Q82. The inscriptions of which dynasty explicitly record the prefix Raja, along with metronymics like Gotamiputra? A. Mauryan. B. Satavahana. C. Gupta. D. Vakataka. Answer. B. Satavahana. Q83. In the battle scene depicted on the terracotta sculpture from Mahichhatra, c. 5th century CE, what epic is being represented? A. Ramayana. B. Mahabharat. C. Silapadikaram. D. Kumarasambhava. Answer. B. Mahabharat. Q84. Which character in the Mahabharata advised Duryodhana with the words, "There is no good in a war, no law, dharma, and profit, arth"? A. Kunti. B. Vijura. C. Gandhari. D. Bhishma. Answer. C. Gandhari. Q85. Assertion. A. The Buddhists rejected the idea of claims to status on the basis of birth. Reason. R. The Buddhists recognized that differences in society existed but did not view them as natural or inflexible. A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. B. Both A and R are true but R is not the correct explanation. C. A is true but R is false. D. A is false but R is true. Answer. A. Both A and R are true and R is the correct explanation of A. Q86. In the Mandasar inscription, the guild members are described as excelling in various fields. Which of the following was not mentioned as their field of excellence? A. Music. B. Biographies, tales. C. Vedic astronomy. D. Sea navigation. Answer. D. Sea navigation. Q87. Which of the following social groups was described as odd, uncivilized, or even animal-like when featuring in Sanskrit texts? A. Vaishya merchants. B. Forest dwellers like Nishadas. C. Guild members of silk weavers. D. Brahmanas of different gotras. Answer. B. Forest dwellers like Nishadas. Q88. Hidimba, who proposed to Bhima in the forest, was the sister of A. Nishada chief. B. Rakshasa. C. Kshatriya king. D. Malechha trader. Answer. B. Rakshasa. K89. Ghatotkacha, the son of Bhima and Hidimba, promised to A. Destroy the Kuru lineage. B. Return to the Pandavas whenever they needed him. C. Become the king of Hastinapura. D. Conquer the heavens. Answer. B. Return to the Pandavas whenever they needed him. Q90. Which Buddhist text features the story of the Bodhisattva born as a Chandala named Matanga? A. Jatak Tales, Matanga Jatak. B. Majjhima Nikaya. C. Sutta Pitaka. D. Milinda Panha. Answer. A. Jatak Tales, Matanga Jatak. Q91. When Ditta Mangalika saw Matanga entering the city of Banaras, her reaction was to A. Offer him alms. B. Wash her eyes claiming she had seen something inauspicious. C. Invite him to her father's house. D. Ask him for spiritual guidance. Answer. B. Wash her eyes claiming she had seen something inauspicious. Q92. Who restored the personal freedom of the Pandavas and Draupadi after they were lost in the game of dice? A. Krishna. B. Vijura. C. Dhritarashtra. D. Bhishma. Answer. C. Dhritarashtra. Q93. Under the Brahmanical system, acquiring wealth through conquest was a recognized means primarily associated with which varna? A. Brahmanas. B. Kshatriyas. C. Vaishyas. D. Shudras. Answer. B. Kshatriyas. Q94. The story of the wealthy Shudra in the Majjhima Nikaya indicates that early Buddhists A. Supported the Varna system strictly. B. Believed wealth could subvert the traditional Varna hierarchy. C. Considered Shudras unfit for wealth. D. Abolished all forms of social hierarchy immediately. Answer. B. Believed wealth could subvert the traditional Varna hierarchy. Q95. Who was Mahasamata in early Buddhist tradition? A. The supreme god of the universe. B. The first Brahmana. C. A leader chosen by the whole people to maintain order. D. The first merchant to establish a guild. Answer. C. A leader chosen by the whole people to maintain order. Q96. What was the payment given to the Mahasamata by the people in return for his services? A. A proportion of their gold. B. A proportion of their rice. C. Free labor, visti. D. Cattle and horses. Answer. B. A proportion of their rice. Q97. Historians ascertain the possible date and place of composition of texts because A. It changes the grammatical structure. B. Authors keep the interests of their audience in mind, shaping the text's perspective. C. Texts are only valid if written before 1000 BCE. D. It proves that the Mahabharata was a single historical event. Answer. B. Authors keep the interests of their audience in mind, shaping the text's perspective. Q98. The language of the present Mahabharata is mostly A. Vedic Sanskrit, identical to the Rigveda. B. Pali. C. Sanskrit that is simpler than that of the Vedas. D. Prakrit. Answer. C. Sanskrit that is simpler than that of the Vedas. Q99. In the Mahabharata, the didactic portions were probably A. The original core of the text. B. Added later. C. Written by the suttas. D. Composed entirely in Tamil. Answer. B. Added later. Q100. When did the large didactic sections resembling the Manusmriti get added to the Mahabharata? A. Circa 1000 BCE to 800 BCE. B. Circa 500 BCE to 200 BCE. C. Circa 200 CE to 400 CE. D. Circa 500 CE to 700 CE. Answer. C. Circa 200 CE to 400 CE.